Win or lose, Bron Breakker was proving he belonged on this stage. The match crossed the 10-minute mark, then 15, then 20, and the pace never let up. Back and forth they went, trading momentum like heavyweight boxers in the late rounds. Punk would gain control with his technical prowess and strategic targeting of injuries. Breakker would explode with bursts of raw power that reminded everyone why he'd been destroying the competition for months. Near falls came one after another, each kick-out bringing the crowd to their feet, each close call adding another layer of drama to an already incredible match. But something was building. You could feel it in the arena. A sense that this match was heading towards something unprecedented. The desperation in CM Punk's attacks was increasing. The champion knew that Bron Breakker wasn't going down easy, and as the match wore on, doubt began creeping into Punk's strategy. He started taking more risks, attempting more high-impact moves, pulling out techniques from deeper in his arsenal. A top-rope elbow drop that nearly ended it. A GTS attempt that Breakker somehow countered into a spinebuster that shook the entire ring. Then came the sequence that should have ended the match. Bron Breakker, feeding off the energy of the crowd, seemingly found a second wind. Despite the damaged shoulder, despite 20-plus minutes of warfare, the young powerhouse lifted CM Punk up for his devastating Gorilla Press Power Slam, the move that had finished so many opponents before. The crowd was on their feet. This was it. New champion. But Punk, with veteran instinct, raked Breakker's eyes at the last second, dropping down and hitting a desperate go to sleep out of nowhere. The impact was devastating. Punk covered, hooking the leg. 1, 2, kick out. Bron Breakker's shoulder shot off the mat at 2.9, and the arena absolutely exploded. CM Punk couldn't believe it. He sat there, staring at the referee, arguing that it was 3, that the count was slow, that he'd retained his championship. But the referee was adamant. It was only 2. Punk's frustration was palpable, and frustration leads to mistakes. The champion pulled himself up, grabbed Breakker, and went for another go to sleep. But Bron blocked it, shoved Punk into the ropes, and as the champion bounced back, spear. The impact was incredible, both men collapsing in the center of the ring, completely spent. Neither man could capitalize immediately. The referee began a count as both superstars lay motionless, the crowd chanting "This is awesome" at the top of their lungs. At the count of 8, both men began stirring. At 9, both pulled themselves up using the ropes. They stood on opposite sides of the ring, battered, exhausted, but neither willing to quit. They met in the center of the ring and began trading punches, each blow fueled by pure determination and the desire to hold that World Heavyweight Championship. And that's when everything changed. That's when the night went from memorable to absolutely historic. That's when the mystery began. The lights in the arena flickered. Just for a second. Most fans probably thought it was a technical glitch, but something about that flicker felt deliberate, ominous. CM Punk and Bron Breakker were still trading exhausted strikes in the center of the ring, neither man noticing the change in atmosphere. The referee was focused on the action, making sure the match stayed within the rules. Nobody was prepared for what happened next. A figure appeared at the top of the entrance ramp. At first, it was just a silhouette backlit by the arena lights, but as it moved closer, the distinctive features became clear: tall, athletic build, moving with purpose and confidence. And most notably, wearing a mask. Not a lucha libre-style mask decorated with colors and designs, but a simple, almost tactical black mask that completely obscured the person's identity. The crowd's reaction was immediate confusion mixed with excitement. Who the hell was this? The masked figure moved down the ramp with alarming speed, sliding into the ring before anyone could react. The referee turned just in time to see the intruder, but before he could call for the disqualification bell, chaos erupted. The masked man went straight for CM Punk, who had his back turned, still focused on Bron Breakker. A devastating running knee strike to the back of Punk's head, the same kind of move Punk himself had used to win countless matches, and the World Heavyweight Champion crumpled to the mat like a puppet with its strings cut. The crowd was in absolute pandemonium. Half were booing the blatant interference. Half were cheering because of their hatred for CM Punk. All were completely shocked by what they were witnessing. Bron Breakker stood there, seemingly as surprised as everyone else, staring at the masked figure who had just attacked his opponent. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Was Breakker in on this? Did he know this was going to happen? The young superstar's face showed genuine confusion, or was that just excellent acting? The masked figure didn't stick around for introductions. As quickly as they'd appeared, they rolled out of the ring and began backing up the ramp, eyes locked on the chaos they'd created. Security began rushing from the back, but the mysterious attacker was already disappearing through the curtain, vanishing into the backstage area like smoke.
Inside the ring, CM Punk was out cold.
Bron Breakker stood there, looking from Punk to the ramp to the referee, his mind clearly racing through the implications. Then survival instinct kicked in.
Championship instinct.
Breakker looked down at the unconscious CM Punk, and whatever moral questions he might have had evaporated.
This was his moment. This was his chance.
The referee was confused, clearly uncertain about what had just happened, but the match hadn't been stopped.
There was no disqualification called.
Bron Breakker dropped down, hooked Punk's leg, and the referee, almost on autopilot, dropped to count.
1, 2, 3. The bell rang. Bron Breakker's music hit.
And the announcement came, "Here is your winner, and the new World Heavyweight Champion, Bron Breakker." The arena erupted into a mixture of celebration and controversy. Fans were on their feet, some cheering wildly for the coronation of a new champion, others booing the tainted finish, but absolutely everyone was talking about what they'd just witnessed. Bron Breakker was handed the World Heavyweight Championship, and the young superstar held it above his head with a look that combined triumph, confusion, and perhaps just a hint of guilt. But who could focus on Breakker's emotions when there were so many unanswered questions?
Who was the masked figure? Why did they attack CM Punk?
Was Bron Breakker involved in planning the interference, or was he just a lucky beneficiary of someone else's agenda? And perhaps most intriguingly, was this a one-time occurrence, or had a new player just announced their presence in WWE in the most dramatic way possible? Backstage, reports were already flooding in about the mysterious attacker. Security had lost track of them almost immediately. Cameras that should have caught the figure's escape route seemed to have malfunctioned or been strategically avoided. Whoever planned this interference knew exactly what they were doing, suggesting a level of inside knowledge that made the situation even more concerning.
This wasn't some fan who jumped the barricade. This was calculated, precise, intentional. Social media exploded instantly.
Within minutes, WWE trending topics dominated Twitter, Instagram, and every other platform.
Theories flew faster than you could read them.
Was it a returning superstar coming back for revenge on CM Punk? Was it someone from Bron Breakker's past, perhaps even a family member helping to secure his championship destiny? Could it be a completely new WWE signee making the most impactful debut in company history? The speculation was endless, and WWE's front office wasn't offering any answers, either because they didn't know or because they recognized the value in keeping the mystery alive. Medical staff rushed to the ring to check on CM Punk, who was just beginning to stir. The former champion's face when he realized what had happened was a portrait of rage, confusion, and betrayal. Punk immediately grabbed a microphone and began demanding answers, threatening anyone and everyone, promising revenge on both the masked attacker and Bron Breakker. His promo was raw, real, and absolutely riveting, the kind of unscripted passion that reminded everyone why CM Punk is considered one of the greatest talkers in professional wrestling history. Meanwhile, Bron Breakker stood on the entrance ramp, World Heavyweight Championship held high, but his celebration was muted by the circumstances. This should have been the greatest moment of his professional life, the culmination of years of hard work, the validation of his place at the top of WWE. Instead, it was overshadowed by mystery and controversy. Would the championship be stripped from him? Would there be an immediate rematch ordered? Would the masked figure's interference invalidate his victory? Breakker's face showed that he was already grappling with these questions, even as he tried to celebrate his achievement. The broadcast ended with more questions than answers, and that's exactly what made it unforgettable. WWE had delivered a moment that would be replayed, analyzed, and debated for years to come. December 4, 2025 would be remembered as the night everything changed, the night a mystery began that could reshape the entire landscape of professional wrestling.
And we're all just waiting to see what happens next.